Bollocks! 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 Hi, yes, welcome all our chums out there to Toyah and Robert's Kitchen, where your agony aunts, deeply unqualified, are ready, willing, and here we are serving you a pile of useless answers to a few of your burning questions.
I really hope that the majority of you have now been able to catch up with your loved ones. It's been quite a remarkable week here in the UK. There is a sense of freedom, but there's also a sense that it's a new type of freedom. So I hope you're all feeling great about this week. And happy Easter! Yes, it's Easter.
Yes, it's a time of hope.
Jackek, do you have repeating dreams?
Yes, I do. How about yours?
Okay, the spooky and the not good thing about my repeating dreams, Jackek, is I have one where I can't breathe. So I wake up unable to breathe. And this I know is actually happening in reality. So I have to sleep with my head propped right up. And I think it's because I'm a singer. I overuse my voice, my throat quite a lot. I cannot sleep with a flat head. And if I've moved in the bed and my head is too flat, I stop breathing. So that's a little bit spooky. But also, I dream a lot about spiders. And I now know if I'm having a dream about a spider, it is because a spider is on me. It's as simple as that. And I wake up and get the hell out of that bed.
So yes, I do have a number of series of repeating dreams, actually. Going back to about 1972, a series of flying dreams began, which have been continuing.
I am laughing because this is going to be a long one.
You could simply put your hand over my mouth, dear.
You have flying dreams?
Yes, I've had flying dreams. I still have flying dreams. I've had a few recently too. That's one section. Another section is the dud performance.
Or the audience leaving.
Yes, all right. The dud performance, going back to 1974-5, the dud performance dreams were a King Crimson as a trio, Bill Bruford, John Wetton and me playing Schizoid Man in the middle of an open-air festival and everyone leaving. That's one version of it. Modern versions of it are, we are rehearsing except all the musicians are spread out. I can't see them, I can't hear them. Oh, and we're playing Schizoid Man and I haven't practiced and I can't play it. That's only an example of a few of the dud performance dreams. And then there's the travelling dreams. This you understand when touring approaches, this is when it really kicks in. So Robert's on a train somewhere. Where's his bags?
Oh.
Or he's in a city somewhere and he's parked. Where's the car? Or he's found the car in that car park and for some reason he can't get it out. And these are, as my wife would say, the rest of our time together will be filled with these awful details of how terrible this story
Well,
is.
going back to your performance dream, I do have dreams, thankfully not too often, that I'm on stage opening in a new play and I haven't learnt the script. It's a horrible feeling. Can I move on to the next question? John Thomas asks, how do you get rid of toxic people in your life? Can you put this in context, Robert? Was there any more info on this?
That's the question.
Oh, gosh, that is a big question. Shall I kick off?
You begin.
I'm going to try and be sensitive here. Firstly, sometimes people are toxic because of their past experiences. And that's how they believe they need to be, or they're not aware they're doing it. I actively block people on my phone who just cannot communicate in a positive way. One example I will give you, and I don't want to sound brutal, but toxicity isn't good for anyone. And I remember I was playing Sally Bowles in the West End in the play Cabaret. And I had a quick change in Act 2, and it really was like a quick change, 30-second change. And there was a very, very brilliant elderly male dancer in the chorus. He was so talented, had such a wonderful history, but he'd be in the quick change room and bitching about everyone in this 30-second change that I had to do with my dresser. And I had to go on stage and deliver "Life is a cabaret." You know, I had to deliver that. And his voice would be in my head, the toxicity that he saved up the whole day for that moment. And I realized through that experience that you cannot let anyone implant voices in your head that aren't your own. So I'm quite brutal now. I block people. I don't answer their email if they're toxic. And we are very good in social situations that we protect each other, because we get so many people that try and separate us in social situations. And when we go out, because we work so hard, we want to celebrate being out together, and we don't appreciate people deliberately trying to split us up in a social environment.
Yeah. All right. So obviously this is a big subject. 2 quick points to begin with. Firstly, this is a subject which is now well addressed, and you can actually go online and find lots of good information on this. Secondly, we are never asked to suffer more than we can honourably bear. So that's the first 2 overall points. Then moving on. Firstly, you have good people who are toxic and bad people who are toxic.
Can you give an example of that, please?
Yes, good people, you've already referred to it, really nice people whose history, perhaps family situations, have really done them permanent damage.
Oh, my mum.
Yes, your mother.
Okay.
Yeah, a traumatic experience.
Very, very briefly, when Robert first married me, well, really for the whole of the remainder of my mother's life, I would leave being with her suicidal, because she would just tear me apart. And if I hadn't have married Robert, I just don't know how I would ever have been able to be in the same room as her. But you saw it happen, and Robert used to talk me down off the top of the roof, metaphorically. So yeah, you've witnessed that.
Yeah. So firstly, you have good people who have had their own damage but remain toxic. But at least with these people, there is a chance of engaging. You have bad people who are toxic.
Yeah.
And very difficult to engage. Current statistics I've recently come across, 4% of people who are toxic and know they're toxic like being toxic. So that's bad toxicity. Second, there are some toxic situations you can leave and some you can't. An example of a situation you can't leave when it's your mother. Your mother is your mother. If she's toxic, you do what you can. The situations where you sorry, that's when you can't leave, I beg your pardon.
Yeah.
Another situation you can't leave is if you are in employment in a situation where you have all manner of responsibilities, it's an abusive workplace, and you can't leave immediately. So, thirdly, get third-party acknowledgement and involvement.
Yeah.
My response often with people who seem mad to me is, it must be me that's mad.
It's not you, and John Thomas, it's not you. And don't let people think that you are the problem. Robert is dead right. That third person will guard you if it's possible.
In professional contexts, there are also now counsellors and trained people who can respond to grievance when reported.
I even had a counsellor tell me never, ever to be left alone in a room again with my mother. And if at worst, never see her again. That's how toxic our relationship was. Andre, I have a long time issue performing live, including performances in front of the camera. What really helped me a lot recently is this bollocks word, which really helps me not to be demotivated by my mistakes.
Well, you may have noted that actually I make lots and lots of mistakes here in Agony Aunts. Bollocks! 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 Bollocks!
Bollocks!
Bollocks. Well, you may have noted that actually I make lots and lots of mistakes here in Agony Aunts, and I have no fear of mistakes. They're not my aim, but there is no mistake save one, the failure to learn from a mistake. May our mistakes be our teachers and our friends. We learn from them, we move on.
Mistakes are lessons. Mistakes aren't a negative, and I encourage Robert to use the bollocks word because he was beating himself up when he made mistakes, and I just said this is something that needs to be shared with people. Perfection is rare, and perfection is not a means to an end. It's just something happens to be perfect. All of us make mistakes. No matter how successful we are, no matter how hard we are trying, we will make mistakes. They are lessons. They inform us of who and what we are. And the bollocks word, I think, just allows everyone in to recognize the same in themselves. I don't know if it's the best word to use, but it certainly is very popular and it gets used a lot. Rola, have you both done a magic mushroom trip together? I think that's an accusation rather than an actual inquiry.
No.
No, never. Absolutely. We don't touch drugs at all. But there was a very beautiful experience in my life that Robert regretted. It was quite a while ago, at least 8 years ago, and Bill Rieflin was staying here, and I'd already made them 2 giant margaritas each. Each single margarita cocktail had 8 measures of alcohol in. I went to bed after the second, and Robert and Bill stayed down here at this table and had another one. So they had 3 mammoth margaritas. And about 1 a.m, I heard Bill scream with laughter. It was like a hyena. And I said, "What's the matter?" I shouted down, "What's the matter?" And Bill said, "Robert can't walk." And I said, "Do I need to get him help?" "No, he can't talk either." And then we had the mammoth job of getting Robert to bed, which was hysterical. So drugs, no, but excessive margaritas, yes.
Very rarely.
Yeah, we don't do it anymore, do we? Too old. Susan Brown, can we have a ghost story from you both, please?
You on that one, lovey.
I think one of the loveliest experiences, and we've got many ghosts here. We have a woman in white who goes past the window here. We have a black shadow who, ever since we've moved in, walks through that door all the time. We have a dog. We have a black dog that appears, and there's scratches on the wall. But one of the loveliest ones I've ever experienced was when I had my little white rabbit, Willie Fred. Willie Fred seemed to be able to see the other side. And literally days after my father passed away, I saw the indentation of a hand go under Willie Fred's tummy and flick him up. And Willie Fred turned and looked at an open space. I thought, my God, that's my father. And that was beautiful. But there are ones that are spooky. I had to spend the night in Greyfriars in Edinburgh with a film crew once, and when I got back here the next day, I was taking my clothes off for a bath, and Robert said, "What's on your back?" And down my back was scratch marks like that, and it was a really terrifying place to spend the night.
Well, my ghost story is also to do with little Willie Fred. In the noughties, I would come back from DGM on a Friday night, arriving back about 8:30, 8:45 in the evening. And little Willie Fred would always rush down the stairs with his playmate, Robert, had come home. But on this occasion, I came in, and Willie Fred was on the first landing up the stairs to the first floor, and he was looking to the right and up. For about 10 minutes, completely engrossed in another world of which I was not a part.
I know, he was fabulous for observing that. Vahid, you ask, how many Brit coins do we have? I don't even understand what they are and how they work.
None. I have a very good pal in Seattle who is very well informed in this, but until it moves into the mainstream, I don't think I'll be having any.
I think it is in the mainstream.
Not on Breedenborough High Street.
I mean, I still like cash. I still trust having cash in my hand, even though that's not going to be around for much longer. I'm old system. It's as simple as that. Carly, you asked, tomorrow morning you wake up and it's 1975 again. After the inevitable immediate freak out, what do you decide to do first?
What would you do, lovey?
Well, I've done a whole list here. I would become a disco star. I'd develop a chain of coffee shops and sandwich shops. I'd do a Keep Fit video. I'd buy shares in Perrier water, in Apple, Microsoft, and I'd form a video game company. And once I had £26 billion, then I could change the world.
Well, I just get up and say, hello, God, whatever the God of my understanding, and get on with my day. It depends which particular part of 1975. Was it on tour with Brian Eno in Spain and France in May 1975?
Well, you might change the audience if you could in that case, because you got booed off.
Yes, in the first gig in France, we were booed off after 20 minutes. Well, there you go.
So you could make people in 1975 appreciate the genius of no pussyfooting.
That's a rich question. That I can't predicate the response of audiences.
I think Eno said that when the Velvet Underground released their first album, 500 people bought it. The thing was, those 500 people were the ones that really counted when you released an album. And I think with no pussyfooting, the people that first bought that, who got it, were power players, and having listened to No Pussyfooting, you changed their futures forever.
Well, I was told that Iggy Pop could whistle all the main themes of No Pussyfooting.
That's really quite something. The last question is from Simon. Can there be a King Crimson without Robert Fripp if he stops playing one day?
No. No, King Crimson is a repertoire, yes, and a series of incarnation of groups. But it's also a way of doing things, it's a worldview, and it's a way of being. For example, the music comes first. The musician serves the music. And 3, the group comes first ahead of the interests of the individual players. These are not views which have been shared by everyone in the band.
Okay, I disagree with Robert. I think it could easily carry on and become a platform to present young prodigy talent to the world, male and female. Because for anyone to be able to play that music, they have to be in that kind of pocket of being a prodigy. It's not easy music. People think they can play it, but they actually can't. And I think the first time the music that you have written has been played how you intended it to be started in 2013.
That's a wonderful idea, lovey.
Okay. And that is our questions for today. Thank you, everybody. We wish you such a happy Easter. We hope the weather is going to be okay where you are and you can be at your barbecues with those that you love. Don't forget Sunday lunch tomorrow, which is epic. And do you have a chord for today?
Well, I have some magic fairy fingers just to prove the unplayability of King Crimson music. So, all right, this is King Crimson's Discipline, and this is after the introduction A section. It moves to an E major, and oh, yeah. So far, so good, dear.
That sounded great.
Well, no bollocks, Lindy.
So that was a complete...
That was the first bollocks-free magic fairy fingers or chord of the Agony arts.
That's a really strange thing to celebrate. Good luck, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow for Sunday lunch, and thank you for lending us your ears. Bye for now.
Be well and stay safe from Toyah and Robert.